Hi, everyone. I'm Teresa Lisum, and I'm coming to you with my amazing guest co host, Debbie Roppo. And we're evolving women. I'm evolving. You're evolving. We're all evolving. And we're here to help each other to evolve. And we're also here to fill you up with uplifting messages, offer new perspectives, new tools, maybe new resources, promote wellness ideas, maybe some mindset shifts, and lots of other stuff. And we also want you to have a stronger belief in yourself. So we're here to give you permission to be your best self. So welcome. We're so glad you're here. Can your thoughts affect your health? Well, we're going to explore that. I'm here with Debbie Roppo. I'm Teresa Lisum. This is Evolving Women. We're so glad you're here. So, Debbie, can our thoughts affect the way our physical body is and our health? Please share because you're a wellness coach. So, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. We're just going to dive right in.
I love it. So, yes, I'm a health and wellness coach, and there's two reasons why it affects. The first one is the science behind every thought that we're thinking creates a chemical cocktail that goes into our bodies, right? And I'd love to talk a little bit more about that because there's some pretty incredible science behind that. The other piece is if your thoughts are brutal and painful and are really self-loathing, what are the odds that you're going to go out and do your workout or pick the healthy food? So there's really two avenues where it supports how our thoughts are, I think, supports how we are in our health.
Well, and I appreciate this conversation because there was a point in time where I would not have believed that. Like it was just not something that I grew up knowing. I was never taught that. I had to come to that awareness over time by hearing, listening, reading, you know, and people like yourself that have brought that into my awareness. So that could be a really new concept or a new thought to viewers and listeners. So if you can expand upon that, I like that you said our thoughts create like a chemical cascade in our body. Like again, 20 years ago, I'd be like, what? Like that doesn't even make sense to me. And I just want to quickly divert by saying growing up and learning in school about our body and everything, like it was all disjointed. Like we learned about the gut or the muscles or the bones. And it took me a long time to realize we're one unit and one piece and everything works together. So, and I kind of went off track a little bit there, but that's why it was hard for me to understand this concept of our thoughts creating this chemical cascade because I was always had this vision of these different body parts doing their own thing and they were never connected, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the, there's a lot of science behind it, but one of the things that's really interesting. So when we get really, really stressed out, right? So we get this stressed out thoughts in our mind. Something happens and we're stressed out. Imagine like which is our fight flight mode, right? Which is, we've all heard about that. And that's really important. So if I'm running from a saber-toothed tiger out in the wilderness, we want our fight and flight to come in. But things happen when in our body. So our digestion slows down, like different things change so that we can focus on running. We don't want to be digesting our meal while I'm running from a saber-toothed tiger, right? I got to use all my energy to get away from the saber-toothed tiger. Well, we live in this kind of environment now where we're stressed like that all the time. So then our physical bodies are reacting. It doesn't know that you're not running from a saber-toothed tiger every hour. It doesn't know that. It just thinks that, wait, I'm in danger, something's wrong. So the body chemically changes. And that's pretty incredible. The other piece, I wanted to share this information because I think it's just amazing, is they did a study where they had men in their 70s go to a retreat. The retreat was designed so that it was like 20 years earlier, right? So they had music from back in the day. They had pictures on the wall. They didn't have any mirrors. And they told them you weren't allowed to talk about your age and you weren't allowed to talk about your illnesses.
Mm.
After 1 week, these men, they had tested all these biomarkers before they, after 1 week, blood pressure went down, cortisol levels went down. The men that were walking with canes and walkers were playing touch football.
Oh, come on.
This is, I'll have to send you the study,
Wow.
right? So what changed in a week's time? It wasn't
Mm.
their food. It wasn't the great
Mm-hmm.
nutrition changes. They believed what they believed about what age is or how old they were.
Mm. Wow.
Right. It's an
Wow.
amazing study. They even did, and this is something they even their toe lengths were longer. And people are like, what do you mean by their toe lengths? Right. Because when we get older, we start to do the baby shuffle, you know, the old
Mm.
kind of like the old
Yeah.
person shuffle,
Yep.
right? Well, they
Yep.
started to take bigger strides. So many factors changed, and it was
Wow.
only because they envisioned and believed that they were back in their more youthful
Oh my
times,
gosh, that is, I love that. That's
right?
unbelievable, but
Yeah, it's, and I think that that's a big piece of this because of what they believed. And this is what I
mm-hmm.
work with women who are over 50, who are aging and who wants to age differently. Because what they believed about what aging was, they
Mm.
started to age a certain way. But when they shifted the environment, they started to age a different way.
Wow. Holy smokes. Just because of beliefs, their thoughts.
Right,
Wow.
right.
And we could go into a whole thing about the age and how each of us ages and how we react to the aging process and what we think about the aging process. You know, a lot of people buy into stereotypes and a certain age acts a certain way. And, and so just believing those stereotypes or buying into that could, it sounds like, contribute to how your aging plays out.
There's no question about it. We see this in especially like in the United States. We have a real unhealthy belief about age,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We really
Yeah.
do. We think we
Mm-hmm.
age and you're going to get diabetes and you're going to get heart
Yes.
disease and you're going to
Yes.
get a dementia and you're going to get Alzheimer's. These are all things. Okay, so none of those things are catchy. You don't catch
Oh,
any of
like
those.
contagious. Oh, that's a good
Right,
point. Yep.
right.
That's
None
a
of those
good
are
point.
contagious. None of them are.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening? Right. So how are we getting these
Yeah,
things? So
wow.
it's our lifestyle. There's a sliver of genetics, like 15%
Yep.
maybe, but the
Yep.
majority of it is through or through our lifestyle and the environment
Mm.
that we're living in. Right. So that's a really big deal. And if we think about the blue zones, which are places in the world where people live into their hundreds
Mm-hmm.
without the diseases that we see here. They don't, they age, they show images and there's guy's 90 years old and he's water skiing.
Mm.
90-year-old here would even consider going water
Right,
skiing. I mean,
right.
I'm not, of course there's some beautiful
Mm-hmm.
people out there that know that aging is just really a number. But
Yeah.
when we get that mindset that age means decline, it means
Mm-hmm.
illness, it means pain, it means suffering. If we've got that thought process, then it's kind of like whatever you focus on grows, right? We know that that's true, that's kind of what happens.
Well, I think when you said that, I think media portrays age in our country a certain way.
Yes.
And we just kind of see those images and we take it on for ourselves. We don't have to, we just do.
I
So
do
I
believe
think,
we're, oh, I'm sorry.
no, I was just saying it's important for us to understand this,
Yeah.
that we
I
can decide
truly,
for ourselves
yeah.
how we want to age,
I
basically.
think that we're completely innocent. I think that we're innocent in this because of just what you said. We've really have been bombarded. We are bombarded with, if you're over 50 and you're a woman,
Mm-hmm,
all
mm-hmm.
downhill from
Yep,
there,
yep.
right? You're all downhill. And it doesn't have to be that way. We can make lifestyle changes and shifts, and you can have very healthy, vibrant life all the way into your hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to have some aging symptoms? Hell yeah. We're not fairy tales. We're not playing fairy tales over here, right? We're not pretending.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be to the level that we see, right? That's something that I've seen. I've been working with women for quite some time now. And I'd love to give you one example of a beautiful woman. She was in her 70s. And she came to me because she wanted to reduce her dress size to a size that she was in college. And it was only like 2 sizes off. She was, a very healthy woman.
Mm-hmm.
And in our conversation, the truth was she didn't care about the damn dress size. What she wanted was the life and vibrancy that she had when she was in college.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So we started to play with that. We started to excavate and really explore that. She comes to find out she's lonely. And
Mm.
CDC says people that are lonely have a 50%
Yes.
increase in death and Alzheimer's or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't
Yeah.
have
It's a
full, but
huge,
yeah, it's yeah,
it's
it's
huge.
huge, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So we start playing with the idea of her going on a dating site. What did she say? Oh my God, that's ridiculous. I'm too old
Oh man.
to do something like that. So we
Uh-huh.
start, well, I'm like, well, what are you? So we started playing with it. We ended up our coaching together with her getting on a dating site. She met a retired gentleman who sailed boats, and this makes me gives me literally goosebumps. And him and her are now sailing together because she changed her belief.
Oh my God. Ooh, I got chills on that. Oh, how
Right,
awesome. Wow.
right,
What a great story.
right. So the thought that your thoughts can change your health is powerful.
Mm.
If we can think, wait a minute, if I change my lifestyle, if I change the way I'm doing this just here and there, not only are the chemicals changing in your body, right? Not only you're getting that, but you are starting to explore and you're thinking, well, wait, what if I did try that? What if
Mm-hmm.
I did go on, what if I did try that 5 minute walk and then I did a 10-minute walk and now I'm doing a 30-minute walk and now I'm
Mm-hmm.
out dancing and I'm right.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
it's a path that you can go on.
Mm. I love, love, love that. I have so many thoughts that I jotted down as you were talking.
Yeah.
Um, Bruce Lipton, he speaks about, and I heard this years ago, about our body being a petri dish because he worked with petri dishes, and that's how he kind of transitioned to a more spiritual belief system. But like, so I always think of that like my body is a petri dish, and what I think is affecting the medium of that petri dish. We're just, like he said, we're just walking petri dishes. So that really helped me quite a bit,
Yeah.
accept that whole concept that, like you said, my brain, my thoughts are igniting, I guess, chemicals. They're affecting that environment in my petri dish.
Yes. Yeah, it's so very, very true that really when we can change the way we think about our lives and who we are and our value and our worth, and we can shift those thought patterns. It's like it again. That's why I love the word cocktail. It's like a chemical cocktail. Are you drinking fresh, beautiful, pure water that's nourishing you? Or are you drinking, water that's polluted and it's hurting the body? It's either way. It's a pathway, and it's really a choice of that pathway. Which way are you going to go? And it's so powerful to change your thoughts. It's a powerful move for your life. To me, it's the most powerful. I don't think there's anything more powerful.
And it is a simple concept, but that doesn't mean it's easy to do, because we've been ingrained, we've been thinking this way, thinking these thoughts our entire lives, probably. Yeah. And we're working via subconscious patterns that we've, like I said, that we've developed, and it's been grooved in so deep that it does take some time and some effort and some practice to change our thoughts so that our chemicals change.
Yes. There's a couple things that make me think. One is when I think about change like this, if you drive on a dirt road, and you keep driving the same dirt road, you get these big grooves, and the wheels kind of get in the deep. And so to try to pull out of that, it ain't easy. Right. To try to do something new, it's like it wants to pull you back in those deep grooves. And that's a bit like what happens when we try to change the way we're thinking. It is a really big challenge. And the other piece is, when it comes to the thoughts and changing, is to really understand what's happening in the brain when we're thinking, and I liked IFS, internal family systems. It's an incredible type of therapy. I'm not a professional in it, but I've had that type of therapy myself, and I've done tons and tons of study on it. And if you see yourself as there's like this pure self, there's the self that is pure and good, and it's just is spiritual, and it knows, right? And then we have parts of us, right? And this thing sounds like Sybil, like we got different personalities. That's in a way, it's kind of like that, but not to the extent, right?
Right.
So we've got these different parts. So if you're a little girl and your parent comes in and tells you draw a beautiful picture, and they say, "Shut up, that is ugly. It's how stupid," we get an imprint, we have a belief. Got this little belief. So that's what we call, right? We've got this little girl inside us as adults. Believes that she's bad. She's not worthy. She's not good. She's right. So, and I don't want to get too much into the internal family systems, because it's pretty deep. But so you've got this little girl, and that's what they call an exile. Well, they've got two protectors, manager and firefighter. And that's what we live from often, from a manager or a firefighter perspective. A manager, you got to be perfect. We got to be perfect. We got to be perfect. Yeah. And so we kind of live from that space. For a firefighter, just drink alcohol, just drink, just get drink. If you drink, then, and they're not bad. They're just there to help this exile. If we can learn about that kind of thought, and that our parts it really can support us in changing our thinking, because you're not a judgmental person. You're not even, I'll even say it, you're not an alcoholic. You're not. Part of you is. Part of you is. And if you can separate yourself from your part, and you start living from self instead of from the part, everything shifts in you. And I know that's kind of I hope that didn't go too far off, but it's called Internal Family Systems. And it's a really incredible way of kind of looking at ourselves and helping to change the way we think.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Now, to me, it makes sense. It may not to viewers and listeners, but they can certainly reach out to you, get more information about that modality or that way of thinking. But it sounds somewhat in alignment with positive intelligence, where there's saboteurs that are, like I said, they're kind of speaking to us, and they're, they help. They don't help. They create this self-talk, this way of talking to ourselves. And if you can step away from those and kind of detach and see what they are and give them a name and shine a light on them and like, I know what you're doing. It kind of sounds somewhat similar to this internal family system. You're kind of stepping away and being the objective third party around alcohol or whatever people use to kind of distract themselves from what's really going on. Does that sound like a similar
it is.
type of way of thinking?
Like, again, I'm not a professional in IFS. This is just something that I've experimented with, and you can find IFS therapists, people that are interested in doing specific IFS. But I'm going to give you a really good example. So earlier today, I went on my live in my Facebook group. And when I turned on the live, I noticed the dark spots on my chest. And I noticed like the little white spots on my arm and, and the little wrinkles here on my face, right? And so that's my little girl. You're not good enough.
Yeah.
You're not good enough. So the critic comes in to stop me. Don't turn on the camera. Oh, you look too bad. You look, your critic to stop us. The critic's not bad. It's just trying to stop you from hurting yourself, right? It doesn't want you to be scared.
Protecting us. Just protecting us. Yes.
Yes, it thinks it's protecting you. So what I'm able to do, and just like you said, I say, whoa, 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 everybody, critic, I want you to step aside. Can you step aside to the side here? I want you to step aside. Fear, step aside. Step aside, judgment. Step aside so that I can come forward. And when I step forward, I have no fear about my spots or my, or my wrinkles. They're beautiful. It means that I've smiled a lot. It means that I've traveled to Florida every year with my parents and got some sun here, right? I can see it for its truth. And just imagine thinking from that self and thinking from that critical self. What choices are you going to make in your health? When it's time to go eat food, that pure self saying, oh, I want to nourish this beautiful body that's so loved. Look at you, little temple. You are an amazing thing. I just love you. You eat, or that critic, you gross thing.
Yes.
Just go eat the garbage. Who cares? You're not worth anything anyways.
Right.
So again, thoughts are going to affect our health in multitude of ways.
Right. Yeah. And it's, like you said, that those voices that judge, that critic, they're just protecting us so we're not feeling bad or whatever. So it's, in my opinion, and from my experience, it's great to be thankful. Thank you so much. Thank you for your opinion, but I got to do this. I'm going to do this anyway. So you just kind of diminish their power so that you can, as you said, step forward as your authentic, true self.
Right. That's really powerful the way you just put that, Teresa. It's super powerful because if we think about, we'll say, the addict self, the alcohol self, and others beat the crap out of alcohol self. But what is alcohol self part truly trying to do? she's trying to make you not suffer. She's trying to make your pain less. She's doing it in a really warped way. That's
Yeah,
not at all
yeah.
healthy, right? So if we just shift and say, instead of you're bad, and instead say, I see you. I see that you're trying to help me. We got to find another way to do that, right? We got to shift something here. There's got to be a shift in that. And I tell you, I've had clients, when I help them see that every decision we ever make, every choice I've ever made, I'm trying to get love. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care how ugly and bad it looks. And everyone else, they're trying to reach and get love in some way, even if it looks so screwed up. Right? The word sin, right? I love all spiritual texts. I think they're all amazing. But the word sin in particular, if you actually look at the root word, means to miss the mark, but like a boomerang. So you throw out, you miss it, and the boomerang comes back. You're not bad. You just missed.
Love
You just
that.
missed, right? Or if you throw a dart, you throw the dart at the dartboard, you missed. It doesn't mean you're bad. Now,
Exactly.
personally, I've literally dropped the dart behind me and I've been so off target.
Right. And you have the opportunity to try again.
Yeah. And I feel like if we could stop judging the way we've done things and the way we think and not think of it as we're bad because we judge, we're bad because we're guilty, I feel bad.
Right.
If we can kind of just say, wait a minute, all of these things are just thoughts and ways that I'm trying to protect myself. I'm trying to find love. I'm trying to get the good. I'm just a bit misguided. We don't want to be.
Right. And I do think we're kind of trained or programmed that way.
Yeah.
Not to anybody's fault, just because there's so many things, so many layers of reasons.
Yeah.
But we hear that, we get that message as young kids from different sources, and we take that all in. And like you said, we're not bad because we got a C on a particular paper, but we tend to internalize that and make a value judgment about ourselves based on all of these messages we're picking up. So I love that you're saying, like, we're not bad. Like, we missed the mark. Oh, well, we try it again. We throw that boomerang again. We throw that dart again. You got multiple chances. You can do it as many times as you want until you get it right.
Exactly. And this is, for any of the moms out there, this is something that I encourage. When your child, if they do something that you don't want them to do, it's never you're a good boy or a bad boy.
Yeah.
Ever. You are always good. Really, really bad decision there.
Yeah. It's all about the decision and the choice. Yeah.
And it's the same with us. We're always good. We just often make really bad decisions.
I love that. And it depends on your belief system. Our deepest core is a divine, loving, beautiful soul that just kind of, like I said, gets covered up or, takes on some things that we shouldn't have picked up or whatever. But if you can get through and look at that divine core of another person or of ourselves, then that really changes a lot of things.
Yeah. I actually had, when I first started my business, I'll call it a vision, if that's what you want, but I see in pictures. Some people think in whatever, but I kind of think in pictures. And it was a woman, and she's kind of knelt down in this like Superman position. And there's people walking around her, and they're putting veils over top of her. And they're putting a veil, and they're like, "You're ugly.
Yes.
You're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Shh, don't tell them I touched you," right? All of these
Mm-hmm.
veils being put over her, kind of like, and those are those parts, right? Oh, that's where those
Mm-hmm.
parts are
Yep.
developed. And I go and I ask, "Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?" And I know that my job in life is to make her answer.
Mm.
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? And she looks through, and she's looking, and she's like, she's seeing through all these veils, and she's like, I'm just muck. I'm just brown
Yeah.
muck and
Yeah.
nothing. And I ask her, and then she stands up. She throws off all those,
Mm.
and she's this beautiful, golden, powerful woman,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's who we are. That's who
Mm.
we are. That's when all the parts have been put aside. They're in their little place. They never go away, but they're
Mm.
just not
Right.
naughty anymore.
Right. Right.
Right?
Yeah.
They've calmed down because true self is now leading the way. And
Mm.
that's how we gain real health. We make
Mm.
healthy decisions. We say yes and no. We set boundaries, right? That's when true health can really, really blossom in ourselves.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I do want to wrap it up. I don't want to wrap it up, but we do have to wrap it up. And
Yeah.
I would love to invite you back if you want to continue the conversation, if you're
Yes.
open to that. But we've gone lots of routes, but we started with that question, like, can your thoughts affect your health? And hopefully we've shown that yes, they can. So I'm going to invite viewers and listeners to just observe your thoughts, even if it's just one, that maybe you have on a regular basis. Just observe it and see how you think it might be affecting your body. What kind of, I love that analogy that you said, what are you drinking? You're drinking pure, clean water? Are you drinking polluted, toxic water? And if, think of your body again as that petri dish, and what chemicals do you want cascading through your body? So just observe, have an awareness around that, and just, see what happens, see where that goes.
Beautiful.
So I want to thank you, Debbie. Where can people find you and get a hold of you?
Anywhere you can, oh my goodness, I'm on, obviously I have a website, Debbie Roppo Health Coach. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everything. You just look under Debbie Roppo Health Coach. That's Roppo is my last name. And I give out a lot of information that I hope supports women. I do have a Facebook group that's private, and it is for women who want to go a step further in their health and in the spiritual side of things, which is the
Mm,
only place that I do that as well.
great.
It's called Wow, Women of the Well.
Love that. And we will put that information in the description with this video. So you can always go find her and contact her via that. Or like she said, just check those different platforms. But thank you so much, Debbie. So appreciate what you're doing out there in the world, helping women be their best selves and step out from underneath those veils. Love that image.
Yes,
Something that
thank you
people can
so
take
much
with
for your
them.
time.
All right, my friends. Thank you. Thank you, Debbie. Watch for our next episode. Bye bye.